Hello, I'm Edu from Edu4Java, and this is the Android tutorial number 9. We are going to see ImageView, CheckBox, RadioButton, RadioGroup, and setVisibility method. Okay, let's start here. Android tutorial number 9 is the name of the project that I create. Main is the name that I use for the activity. Main XML is also the layout that I modified to include this image and to include this checkbox and these 3 radio buttons. These 3 radio buttons are inside a radio button group. Okay, in outline we can see the linear layout and the text view are the original one generated. I write in the text view ejemplos de componentes gráficos. Then I include a linear layout. This is an horizontal linear layout to include an image in the left side and other layout in the right side. This layout is vertical because inside I want to include a checkbox called check OK, and below I want to include a radio group with 3 radio buttons, radio button 1, 2 and radio button 3, and below everything I insert a button called arreglar, that is fix in Spanish, and we can see the XML. It's another way to view this. You can see the text view, the linear layout, the image view, the other linear layout, checkbox, radio group and RadioButton. Okay, let's see the main Java class. Here on create method we have this already generated code, and these 3 that are my fields that I use to store the radio group, the checkbox and the last radio button. Now in the layout I'm going to translate the Spanish text. Estoy bien means do I look okay? Bueno is okay, muy bueno is hot, and re bueno is awesome. This is a picture that my girlfriend took me. It's in a file called edu.png that I copy here in this draggable directory. She took me this picture with my Android phone, and I use it to put in the ImageView component. You can indicate this in the source draggable edu that appears when you include the file in the draggable directory. Okay, let's run the application to see what happened. Here is the picture, the checkbox and the radio buttons. When we check the checkbox, the radio button appear. The first time it was not checking and the radio button were there. We are going to make invisible the radio buttons, these radio buttons. We can do that making invisible the radio group. Okay, let's go back to the main Java. Here radio group, checkbox and RadioButton Awesome are the component that we see here. This is Awesome, and on click check I'm okay. This is the method that is going to be called when I may click on Estoy bien checkbox. This is because I put in the property on click check I'm okay in the property on click. Then if the checkbox is checked, I set the radio group visibility to visible, otherwise I set the radio group to invisible. Now if you remember, we need to fix this the first time this is unchecked and this is visible. Then we are going to put this radio group to invisible the first time in the property here. I'm going to visibility to invisible. Then you can see this disappear from here, and now the first time it's going to be invisible, and when it's checked it's going to become visible, and when we uncheck again it's going to become invisible. Okay, let's take a look to this other method that is on click fix. This method is going to be executed when we press click here in a regular button that means fix. Here you can see on click property. Let's go back to on click method. The question is what I'm going to do here. I had to explain. My girlfriend said that I'm a little self-centered and I don't accept somebody told me that I'm just okay or hot. Then here I put the checkbox to check it to true, the radio group set visibility to visible, and the radio button awesome as checked. Let's run the application to see what happened. We wait for the application load, and here it is. As you can see, the radio buttons are not there, and when I check, the radio button appear. This radio button, if I check one, the other is unchecked. This is because all radio buttons are in the same radio group, and this is the big difference between radio groups, radio buttons and checkbox. That in a radio button there is only one radio button that is selected, and in a checkbox it's not like that. You can select all. Okay, now remember that I cannot accept that somebody say I'm just okay. I'm re bueno. Then I click here and I become re bueno. If somebody say nothing, I click here and re bueno again. Remember that re bueno is something like awesome. Okay, this is all for this easy tutorial. We see checkbox, radio buttons, radio button, and how to put an image and play with visibility. And that's all. See you in the next tutorial.